And for legal analysis, let's bring in prosecutor Wendy Patrick and former California Senate candidate Christina Pascucci. I mean, it's kind of amazing because the school kind of goes forward here, Christina. It's kind of interesting that they said first, you are going to be written up for insubordination. They said some people might consider this to be offensive, the American flag. Some students might consider it to be offensive, and now they're saying, no. No, it was all just a misunderstanding. Yeah. Christina.
First off, good for Cameron. We need more kids like him in this country.
Right.
As a former journalist, I traveled to more than 100 countries, 7 continents. I saw unimaginable poverty, people who had no human rights or freedoms that we here take for granted, people who lived in war zones and didn't even know peace. And so I say all that to say we are so unbelievably blessed to be in the United States of America. But it seems like we are taught, or kids are taught, that it is somehow bad or something to be ashamed of. I don't understand why in this situation the school was focusing on the flags rather than literacy rates. Yeah. And it doesn't make any sense. We need to be united under this flag. A house divided cannot stand.
Yep, it's a great statement. You know, as Cameron pointed out, Wendy, there was no law in effect. There was no school rule. This was capricious. This was just the school saying, you know what, you might offend some students, so it's better if you just take it down. And if you don't, and it's amazing to me that they would say this to a 17-year-old kid, but your thoughts on the legalities of all this?
Well, I'll tell you what, if schools don't want to be going from the classroom to the courtroom, they better be relooking at their policy and procedure manuals. I mean, this story makes me proud to be an American. I mean, what do we do before we say the Pledge of Allegiance?
Right.
We basically put our hand over our heart. It doesn't start with a trigger warning. So for that to have been the rationale just doesn't make any good sense.
Yeah.
And it's one of those stories that, you know, you talk about what would be the most unoffensive vision that you can think of, and the American flag would be one of them. This school flies the American flag outside of the school. It is in every single classroom.
Yeah.
So why can't it be proudly flown on the back of vehicles like the patriotic peers did when they rallied around this brave young man?
And it wasn't long ago where they all gathered to say, I pledge allegiance to the flag. Now it's get that flag off your truck. There's a school board meeting coming up in 2 nights, Thursday night. We're going to make sure that we've got coverage of it. But you can imagine there are going to be a horde of parents at this school board meeting, and they are going to be angry because we have learned that parents kind of get what they want now, especially when they're in the right.
And that maybe is a silver lining in all of this. Here in California, when we had the primary last week, we saw record low voter turnout.
Yeah.
And something like this gets people to start paying attention. And so if nothing else, hopefully because of this, they will be stronger, they will be more adamant, they will be more united and proud to be Americans. Yeah,
and we're not saying they should go in there, but they're going to be in force, Wendy, out there at the school board meeting. So the school principal, Tom Black, said this was all about safety, had nothing to do with anybody being offended. It was all about safety. And the reason he said is because, you know, the truth is that, you know, you can have all of these flags and one of them might be saying the wrong thing. He says, quoting, as well as concerns that flags are not appropriate for schools will be displayed. So what they're saying is, oh, we're going to cancel sweatshirts too because we're afraid that one of the sweatshirts might not have. It's a total BS excuse because they got caught.
Right, and ball caps and T-shirts.
Right.
So I was waiting for that. It's not viewpoint, it's visibility. The flag obstructs visibility. These are some of the reasons that school boards everywhere around the country are saying, we better look at our own rules and make sure that we can back up everything legally and practically. That's what I meant. It makes you proud to be an American. Those parents are likely thinking the same thing. So actually it had the opposite effect. We're all sort of rallying around this young man and saying, good for you for standing on your values.
Yeah. Listen, we may just let you have this baby right here on the show, Christina. We're gonna bring you back night after night. The ratings are going to skyrocket. Christina, Wendy, thank you both for coming on.